can probably test it over there to see if it is.
I was just gonna.
Hey there. Hopefully we're live, guys. Are we good? People are counting down to 10 seconds, but hopefully we're on right now. Yeah, it's on. Live. Okay. Thanks for joining our Twitch stream today as we launch the BLACKROOM Kickstarter. As you can see on the screen, it's Adrian Carmack coming to you from his location. and I'm here as well. It is Habadine. You can see there are a lot of comments happening in the Twitch chat channel, so that's pretty cool. Oh, the audio is delayed. Okay. Hopefully it's going to catch up. I've noticed that that Twitch does that sometimes. It's like it'll be kind of laggy. I haven't changed any video settings, but okay, 10-second delay. You know, maybe maybe what I'll do. Can you say something, Adrian? Because you might sound okay. Hey, what's going on?
I said whatever you want me to say.
All right. Does Adrian? Does Adrian sound all right? Okay. Because I can. Okay. Who is this girl? Let me see if I can turn the toast the video capture device and then restart it, because I think it might be my video. Okay, there's that toasted. Then I do it again. And oh, here it comes. Yes, that's the one. Okay. Okay, hopefully this is good. Everybody. For some reason that got to. Shrink the screen, put it back here, and then we're back to kind of normal again. But hopefully, alright. Okay, so hopefully we are back, and we're not delayed on the audio. Cool? Synced. Yes. Okay, everything's good. Alright. So anyway, hopefully people were happy to see the Kickstarter go up and watch the video and basically see that we're making a game that has classic shooter gameplay in it, the way that people remember classic shooter gameplay. We're not making a game that is a competitive FPS like Overwatch or Lawbreakers or TF2. And I love all those games. Overwatch is awesome and Lawbreakers is super great. But we've basically noticed that shooters have recently stopped spending a lot of time on campaign mode, like single player campaign mode and co-op. And I love playing co-op, and I love playing story-based shooter that has really great gameplay, such as Half-Life 2. And I'm excited to make BLACKROOM, which has, I think, a pretty cool story that's pretty unique, that enables anything to happen at any time because you as a player are in a holographic simulation. You're an engineer, and basically you are you're in there to try and kind of debug what's going on, because there are some issues happening in what's called these holosims, which are kind of like interactive movies in a holographic reality in the simulation. And so you're in there using your voxel, which is a wrist-mounted device that lets you control your environment, that lets you stop time, stop the simulation, and move around inside of it. It lets you destroy walls. It lets you get rid of entities, show data about everything you're looking at, and a lot of other really cool functions that people will basically figure out. So anyway, it's got a lot of really cool stuff in it, and basically, I'm hoping that everybody likes the idea behind it. Let me check out. There's no reversing time because it takes place in a regular, in a holographic simulation. You just basically stop the simulation because something might actually happen to you. Like you might be doing something like cracking the safe inside of the let's say you're in the Western. It's called Boot Hill Showdown, and you're in this Western, and you're in there trying to crack the safe. And as soon as you open the safe, all of a sudden you're now inside of a dark room, and the ceiling is crushing down on you, and you're in a dungeon in a castle. It's like, what the, because there's a glitch, there's an error. The error is caused by a new technology called predictive memory matrix technology that's brand new. It came online, and it's overflowing buffers within the Black Room, and it's causing all kinds of strange anomalies. And so you're there to try and fix it using your voxel. All this cool stuff is going to be art directed by Adrian, who you can see he's been an artist for his whole life. He's done art for basically all the games that we worked on together, all the way from the very first. He worked on Commander Keen, did some original Commander Keen stuff, and then from there on, all the way to Quake. When I was there, I left right after Quake, but all the Doom, the Doom games and everything, Adrian has been on those games. So he came up with it. You see the image of the glitch there coming out of the wall, the Black Room title. That's basically like in the Curse of the Ebon Raven holosim. It's this dilapidated mansion, and there's this, at different times, walls will glitch out and they'll look like there's something wrong with them, and you can go through them because there's something wrong with the wall. The geometry is not solid anymore for some reason, and the projected collision volume technology has broken down at that point. So you kind of go through it and see some crazy stuff outside the geometry of the level, and coming from outside the geometry are these really evil creatures called the glitches. Okay, good to see Adrian again, people are saying. Let's see. Will there be sewer levels? I wonder, what FPS doesn't have a sewer level? Maybe it'll be a multiplayer level. Let's see, control-wise, are we looking at something similar to Quake and Doom? Of course we are. That's classic FPS gameplay right there. There will be no loadouts. There will be weapon pickups, health pickups, power-up pickups, all the stuff that you expect in classic FPS gameplay. Thanks for everybody saying that they're loving the Twitch stream and seeing Adrian. I don't know if you have the Twitch stream open, Adrian, but it's like,
no.
Yes, there will be bunny hopping because you will be able to jump in the game, and if you can jump repeatedly. So there'll be strafing, there'll be jump strafing, circle strafing, strafe jumping. There might even be crazy glitches that allow wall running. So yeah, there will be a bunch of really cool classic gameplay stuff in there. Air control is super important for rocket jumping, which of course is in the game. I mentioned that in the video. Yes, there's rocket jumping, and there will be some cool air control because you're in a holographic simulation and anything can happen in there. So you can't have some like crazy air control possibilities, maybe because there's a power-up that you use. There will definitely be co-op. I love co-op in games, in FPS games. So co-op from day one. If you look at the Kickstarter page, there's like a little bullet list there, and it mentions that for multiplayer, there's co-op, there's one-on-one deathmatch, which is going to be Rocket Arena style, one-on-one slotting with spectators watching the matches. Well, there won't be split screen because this is a PC game, and one person plays on the PC at a time using the mouse and the keyboard. So yeah, that's how it's gonna work. Yeah, strafe running is great. Let's see, will you be able to kill me in the game? You never know if Adrian's involved, possibly. Things happen that we don't know all the time about what's going on. So it's not an esports game because it's not made for competition. It's made for a single player campaign with classic FPS multiplayer support. The esports type stuff is where you look at Lawbreakers and Overwatch and TF2 and stuff. So this is a single player campaign mainly, but with really cool co-op and everything. Yeah, Rocket Arena. Esports wise, if somebody wants to mod it and put in some more camera support and other stuff that esports uses, then that's definitely a possibility. There will definitely be some big weapons, and the cool thing about the weapons in this game is that we're not limited to conventional weapons. The reason why there's weapons in this is because you basically, as you play, when you start playing the game, it's like you're investigating the issues in the HoloSim interactive holographic movies to find out what's going wrong. These movies are like haunted house movies and westerns, and there's even like kid shows. And while you're in there, because of the buffer overruns with the predictive memory technology, it folds the military simulations that Hawkstar works with the government on. It folds them into the HoloSims, and so now you have weapons that normally should never be there. So I have so many of these notifications I need to turn off. All right, let me just do not disturb. How about that? Do not disturb from, like, what is it? 5 p.m. Okay. There. All right. Let's see. It's so funny because it's hard to see the amount of stuff that people are dumping in. Not saying that there's no consoles. Consoles are a possibility if you unlock some stretch goals that we have. We're not making Daikatana 2 either. I've already tweeted saying there's no way I'm ever going to make a Daikatana 2. Jibs, most definitely there will be extreme jibbage. Especially because in a holographic reality, things aren't real, so it could be insane. So even if, let me just clarify the console stuff. Even if consoles are unlocked at a higher stretch goal, this game is designed for the PC and will be delivered on PC first, which means that when it gets ported to consoles later, then it will be tweaked just for the console ports. It won't touch the PC port, or the PC port. The PC main version will not be changed because we're supporting consoles. The consoles are going to have to be adapted from the PC version. So when you talk about Linux BSD Linux, any kind of Linux. Right now, we don't have plans to release on Linux immediately, but there could be a Linux release before consoles, possibly, because it's PC. But Linux is a smaller segment, but Linux is also kind of grassroots and very much an active modding community as well. So we're definitely excited about Linux. Let me make sure that this is down here. So there's no gameplay because we did not start making the game, other than the designs and building the team and starting the company and planning and designing this. It's a lot of work to put together a campaign like this. But yeah, we did not do a bunch of work on the game to show people because we were just basically starting out, and we thought that people would be excited to be there at the very beginning. Don't worry, there will be gameplay as updates roll out. So does anyone have any questions for Adrian to answer here? Since he's sitting here, he's sitting here and he's waiting for you guys' questions. The engine, Unreal 4 engine. Yes, we're using Unreal 4, which means awesome modding capabilities. Hawksar, the website Hawksar, is the company that's inside of this game, BLACKROOM. Very similar to Black Mesa and Aperture Science. Hawksar is the company that you work for, the player in the game, and you are investigating the new technology and the issues inside the technology. Someone's saying, Adrian, why are you so sexy?
Can't help it.
Can't help it. So the art is not going to skew towards Doom 3's art. It's gonna be its own thing. You know, it's gonna have a pretty cool, interesting shader to make the holographic reality that you're in look a little bit different than normal reality. So the player is real. So you're gonna see your hands and the voxel as real things, and the holograph that you're in is going to have a little bit of an interesting shader on it, so you know you're looking at that. So when you're holding your weapons, they're going to be holographic, and when the weapon switches, they're just going to morph and just immediately switch right in your hand, because they're holographic and anything can happen, which means we can actually create any kind of weapon that could be just crazy town as well. Let's see. The gameplay will look pretty. Yes. Adrian's in charge of making the gameplay look pretty. Yes, the BLACKROOM. So the way the BLACKROOM works, it has this advanced technology that is the projected collision volumes, which means that when you walk around and you touch things in the holographic world, they feel solid, because that's a technology that in the future will make holographs feel actually real. So when you go into the BLACKROOM, you're actually going to be, when you move around, you're actually always in the center of the giant black cube, because it keeps you in the center. As you run, it's moving you back into the center as you run forward. So you are able to not have to have this, infinite sized cube to have a really giant world that you're in. You can just keep on running, and the simulation keeps on moving, but you keep staying in the center. So VR support, there's no VR support planned right now, because, I believe that we have to focus on a PC title for mouse and keyboard, and for what most people in the world have, which is a monitor in front of their face. So VR support, I don't know if I even believe that VR, that this game would work really, really well in VR, just because any VR stuff that you have to move around as a walking human makes people sick. So if there is any VR, it would definitely be later, and a VR company would have to get involved for us to actually decide to do anything with it. Adrian, will you be only doing concept art or actual models and assets?
I was doing some assets and as well as concept art.
Yeah, you're basically what you've been doing, or what you did on the games before, which is art directing. Adrian's gonna have a team of artists working with him, and so he'll be giving them some concept, high-level concepts to go off of to create certain things in the game. Is there a different story for co-op? Nope, the story is the same in co-op. So you will be investigating with one of your teammates the same situation. Okay, destructible walls, exactly how destructible. So that remains to be seen, but basically you're in a holograph, and that holograph is a level, basically, that's created by Hoxar, the designers on the team. And those are all entities that can be turned on and off, see through, just make them dissolve, whatever. Your voxel will let you do that. It's definitely going on Steam, probably GOG, Good Old Games. Right now there's so leveling up your character, because you're in a holographic display or holographic world, the holographic world can react to artificial values. So if I said, oh, I'm level 2, then I would have attributes that would make me level 2 in there, like I could jump higher or whatever. We're going to play around with that and see if it feels good, if augmenting your base values is good, but right now the plan is to augment base values of stuff but not level those things up. Who is the guy behind? There's no guy behind me. There's Ian over here. I can change the window if it's bugging you to see another human in here. This is kind of weird with other people. Let's see, is the game level-based like Doom or story-based like Half-Life? It is story-based like Half-Life, but it's also level-based. So the game has a bunch of specific levels in it that are tied together through story. And it has to be level-based like that for these things called challenge modes to work. And the challenge modes basically let you play a level and play it in a certain challenging way. It could be just pure speed running. It could be getting through the exit with no violence, or with fists only, or with one certain kind of weapon, or 100% or whatever. All the things that you could do in classic FPS games. There will be a challenge mode for that for all the levels in the game. So you can basically at any time just go, that's it, I'm going to do a speed run on the Curse of the Ebon Raven right now. Bam. And it starts recording your demo, and if you die, it restarts again and keeps on going. And when you finish your playthrough, if you get in the top 50, it's going to upload your demo and put you on the leaderboard. You can see where you're at against everybody else. Why is Adrian sad? He's not sad, he's thinking. He's an artist.
Yeah.
Hey, could you do built-in speedrun leaderboards to part-time updates? Yes. Open structure, multiple paths or secret areas. There's going to definitely be level design that lets you go all over the place, investigate things, secret areas, all the classic FPS gameplay, all the kind of stuff that I've designed before. I'm going to be doing, but the graphics will be way better this time. They were amazing back then. Now it'll be really cool. Is there a chainsaw? Yes, there's a chainsaw. It's different though. It's a holographic chainsaw. It's called a Hoxsaw, Hoxsaw. It's just a big, giant, blurry beam of light coming out of this thing that just tears through everything. Of course, it's a shotgun. The game will need to hit the Kickstarter goal to actually be able to come out, so it's really important for everybody to kind of jump in there and donate to get us to that goal, so we can get to that point. The game actually is going to cost more than the goal, But if we hit that goal, we have investors that we've been talking to that are very interested in. If we hit the goal, boom, we're done. We're doing it. It's going to be very fast. Will it be fast like Doom? Yes. You know, even Quake was a slower game, and I really like the speed of Doom. So we're going to basically see what we can do at that crazy speed. You know, there's walk and run speeds, and the levels need to be big enough to support that kind of movement through them. So that's basically the plan, to be able to do really cool stuff like that at that speed. Ferrari stretch goal. There's no Ferrari stretch goal. Technically, can the BLACKROOM change into Doom levels? Absolutely it can. We won't be doing that. But all the modders out there can, because of the fiction of this game, where anything that you think can happen in this game, that supports that basically supports modders to create any kind of level that they want, because it could work in here. You would kind of spend a little bit more time thinking about your level and theme it and call it a certain channel. It's almost like you're coming up with a movie yourself and you make a level, and then people play your movie, and it can be completely different. It doesn't need to use the assets from the game. It can be using brand new assets. Will the guns look older, newer, or themed based on the levels? The guns are going to basically be holographic, so they're going to be different. There's going to be some different weapons. There are a bunch of them that are from the military theme, from the military holosim. Hoxar works with the U.S. government and to help train the military, the different armed forces, and so they have to emulate M16s and all the other weapons that the military has. And so you'll have holographic versions of those, but then you're going to have modified versions and alternate firing versions of those. And then the designers at Hoxar want to be more inventive, and so they've created even more crazy weapons that you could find in there. Buckethead is awesome. Yes, I agree. If you see on the Kickstarter page, you'll notice that George Lynch is working with us to work on the soundtrack. He's done some really amazing ambient type stuff, and so and of course cool solos and stuff. So his music is going to fit the feel of the game pretty well. But we're also going to be working with some other composers to make some really cool stuff that fits the different moods and the different things. Like when you're in the kid show, and there's a trash can monster there, which you know what's in there, and you start shotgunning it. You probably won't be hearing George Lynch playing during that time, but you will be laughing. So melee, yeah, there'll definitely be melee. It's gonna, all the weapon balance is gonna be very important to get correct. The damage is not gonna be, skewed in weird ways. It's all gonna do what you expect it to do. Just because you go up to someone's face and hit them doesn't mean that they should get killed instantly, unless of course you have some crazy modifier that will jib people. That's a possibility. Weapon carry limit. You're in a holographic reality. There is no limit because you're not carrying these weapons. They just appear in your hand when you switch them. So it's infinite. And if you're talking about loadouts, there's no such thing as loadouts in this game. Shouldn't we be afraid that your broad concept of places where levels take place may be too broad and that we're trying to make so... So there are 5 locations in BLACKROOM. There are 5 channels, and those channels take place over a couple levels, and so it's not like the game is this giant thing. It is a specific number of levels that have a certain amount of content to make them look like what they are. They like the Curse of the Ebon Raven, or Boot Hill Showdown, or the Crimson Buccaneer, which is a cool piratey thing. When you're in there, it'll look like the pirate ship, and all the parts of the pirate ship and the places that you get off, but it's not going to be like a whole episode of that, like many levels, and then you switch to something else, because that would take forever to create. So we've been making games for a long time, and we can really estimate how long it's going to take to create stuff, especially when we get a team of people that are that have been doing this for a long time. So voice acting, yes, there will be. Dog goes meow 1 2 3 really wants to know about voice acting. Hidden gas stations, sure. Holographic hidden gas stations, they could just appear at any time. Adrian, can you tell us more about the environments? How do they look? How do they look? It's funny how you just like George 420 just like spams. What have I learned? Graphic style. So the graphic style is going to basically be trying to let's see, read story. Yeah. Does that say 408 story at the top there? Yeah, check out the site. You know, if you want to know more about the story, the site has a lot of good information on it. So double jumps will be something that we will play with and see how it feels in the game. Scary, there will be scary parts. There's going to be funny parts, there's going to be scary parts. Drama. These HoloSim interactive movies are going to have different types of modes, like the Curse of the Crimson Buccaneer is a swashbuckling adventure, pirate adventure kind of thing. So you're going to have that kind of a feel to it, which is totally different than being in a horror movie, which is the Curse of the Ebon Raven. Let's see, impossible geometry. So that's definitely going to be there in a certain way outside of the simulation that you're in. When the memory overriding, the memory corruption happens, you can go outside the simulation, and instead of seeing no polys being rendered, you're going to see what looks like procedurally generated level design that's overwritten with like texture atlases and stuff, because you're basically looking into memory. And you need to go out into that area to solve the issues with the simulation gone bad. Is there a humor aspect like Daisy in Doom? What kind of
Truly throw that in there.
Yeah. So you're wondering about interactive QuickTime events. So I don't really plan on having QTEs in the game. I like them. Like Resident Evil 4 has a lot of really great ones. But I'm trying to get this. This is going to be a classic FPS, so it's not going to really interrupt your gameplay. There will be story, but it will not interrupt your gameplay. And QTEs do interrupt your gameplay. Graphic style is going to be, realistic, but with a special shader on it to make it look interesting, like holographic interesting. Yeah, no QTEs, don't worry. Classic FPS gameplay does not have QTEs in it. So yeah, I'm interested in telling a story, but not at the expense of the player's fun of playing a level. It's important to be able to just play it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, so what is interesting about this game to you, Adrian?
Excellent environment. Just some of the different cool styles you can do with each environment, and just wide variety of characters. So just from a history standpoint, links my gameplay.
A return to the classic style of gameplay that, and the look of a classic FPS, but not low res. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Today it's all HD. Of course, there's cheat codes. Wait, I don't know if I can do that. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, it's as loud as it gets. Yeah, because he's coming through. Can people hear Adrian? Say hi, Adrian. Let's see if people can hear you.
Hi.
Here, I'll turn off the music. Now you can hear birds in the background. Okay, so let's see. Punish people for camping. That's hilarious. Okay, the music is off, and so people can hear Adrian. Yeah, you sound better. Good. Hope that no, Adrian won't be making clay models.
Yeah.
That was a mistake, actually. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had to actually go with latex models after the clay tore when we animated it. So that was kind of a no, don't do that again. So will the channels merge at some point? Yes, that is kind of how some of it, some of this stuff happens. Uh-oh. Adrian put me on hold accidentally, I think. Can you call Apogee and say Aardwolf? Nope. Not around anymore. There you are.
Sorry.
Oops. Open maps are more linear, maze-like, smaller maps. It's not going to be an open world game. You're going to be in levels, but they're not going to feel like little bitty tight levels. You know, they're gonna feel good. You know, you're going to have to be able to run pretty quickly and have the room to do that. So if you remember classic FPS gameplay and the speed. It's just like dropped out again. You know, this will have speed. Can you change the color of the holographic weapons? So that is something that is probably possible. Okay, let me see. Superfly. No, Superfly is not in the game. Why would I? No clip weapon. Yo, Adrian, I did it. The dopefish never leaves. Oh, there you are.
Sorry.
What happened?
Mom called.
Oh, you have a busy iPad.
Yeah.
How long for the development? The game is planned to release in December of 2018. Holographic Cyber Demon? No. We don't own that character. But holographic something big? Yes. But that's a surprise that will be released before long. Let's see. Cutscenes. There's not gonna be cutscenes. It's a classic gameplay, so it's gonna. Let me see. Are we out of sync? Sound is delayed, out of sync. Okay, let me figure out how to fix this out of sync issue. Let me drop. I have to drop me out just for a second, and then I'll add. Okay, adding back in. Okay, there we go. All right. Hopefully this syncs it back up. Yeah, hopefully syncing. My hair is out of sync. Programming language. It's C++, people. It's the Unreal Engine number 4. A C++ engine, so it is fast. And the goal, as we're developing the game, is to retain the crazy C++ speed of the game. That has always been the focus when Adrian and I work together, and it's going to remain the focus. We're not throwing stuff in the game to slow it down. It's got to be really fast and really fun. Let's see, Unreal Engine 4. Yep. Will there be many multiplayer character models? There's going to be probably several of them. You're going to have the ability to choose the characters that are in the HoloSims to play as. So you might even have monsters in there. Can I play as a rabbit? I don't know if a rabbit could hold a rocket launcher. It might be tough. A giant rabbit, still, it would look like a dude in a rabbit suit, I think, if we did that. Let's see, what are the scale of the channel? So, it's gonna feel big. It's gonna feel really good. The scale is like the number one thing to get right when you start making a game. You got to get the jumping correct, because everything depends on that jump height, and it depends on the height of the character, and then the speed of the movement, and that's kind of how you determine the scale of your environment in the game. And so we'll be establishing that immediately as we get going on the game. Chaz Jackrabbit can hold a rocket launcher. We're not using sprites, people. These are 3D models. Like that would matter. There is no shitty DLCs. I don't think we did that in our classic gameplay pass, so no DLCs. Yeah, I know. So we are going to, at some point, yes, we will release most likely a multiplayer beta of the game, so people can see how it's playing and give feedback. So it feels great for everybody. Bring sprites back. Because it's a holographic simulation, there's a possibility of putting sprites in one of the environments, just because. There's a History Channel. Yeah, backers will have early access, definitely. Which will be a closed beta for backers. Shower, please. First episode. There'll be a demo. Can you show what voxels look like in Unreal 4? They're called hoxels. They're holographic pixels. Hoxar wants to be the holographic Pixar of HoloSims. That's where the name came from. Can we battle Hitler? Did that already. Probably don't want to do that again, right, Adrian?
No, not really.
Yeah, we did Hitler already. We have to pick other characters to throw in these HoloSims to destroy, but Blackbeard could be one of them. Dude, God, there's so much spam in here. It's hard to read the questions. Zombie mode, there's going to be some zombies in the game already, so let's see. Feels bad, man. Can't kill Hitler again. Stalin? No, we won't kill people like that. There won't be any real people harmed in this game. It's all holographic. Yeah, there's no way to read what's happening. There's so much scrolling going on. Can we play as Snoop Dogg? Why?
Oh, yeah.
How gory will it be? Well, that's one of the cool things. There's going to be a lot of gibbage in the game. It's going to be pretty unique, cool gibbage with more value to it than you're used to. But because it's holographic, it can be unrealistic. And that could be a mode set by your voxel to set the realism of the simulation or the over-realism of the simulation. Can we play as you? I don't think I'm going to be in the game. It's not really planning. Bring back slop. We'll have Romero hair physics. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Why not write it in ASM like Wolf 3D? I'm still. Oh, mommy called again. I think Mama called. No. Did anyone call? You dropped out for a second there. I thought somebody called.
Oh no! A notification popped up.
Oh my god! Let's see. God, there's so much. It's hard to find. Let me see. To find a real question here. Proper boss fights? Yes, there are proper boss fights, and we're gonna have, as a stretch goal, unlock a boss rush mode. When did I last get a haircut? I think it was 2 weeks ago. Because that's important. You'll play everyone at launch has moddable. Yes. Opportunities unlimited for moddability. Yeah, it's gonna. And the fiction supports amazing moddability in this game. Because it's a holograph and because you're creating channels, you can create your own idea of a channel in the game and create your own little thing that you want to show everybody. It's like if you want to have a karate movie or Bruce Lee or whatever kind of thing, you can just mod the game, make a the Game of Death or whatever level and put it out there with your own textures and everything, and people can check it out. Slow mode, less spam. What about the music? It's gonna be metal, man. But there will be also some really cool dark ambient stuff. It's not going to be metal 24/7, but it's going to have some really cool sounding stuff in it. Let's see. Dismemberment. Let's see. What do you think about UE format, horrible mouse input? What do you think? Will there be viral marketing or an ARG? There's not really. If you go to the Hawkstar.tv or Hawkstar-Inc.com site, then you'll see. Then you're going to see the story of Hawkstar unfolding on the internet. So you'll see possibly things that are going wrong in the Black Room, and people have been contacting us about going there for a test run of Curse of the Ebon Raven, and if you search around, people have cracked on Reddit. They've cracked the password for the report, the beta test reports, and they got to see some of the things that are going wrong in the Black Room. So it is, I guess, Argish in that respect. There'll be more secret stuff on the site. Yes, the spam is annoying. Okay. Yes, there will be unique, iconic weapons. One of the really cool, iconic things in this game is the voxel. The voxel is the device that you use to affect your environment. So, the gravity gun lets you affect your environment in Half-Life, where you're picking stuff up and you're shooting it. But the voxel is can control anything in your environment. It can control whether something's there or not. It can control all kinds of UI, and you could have a filter in the area that you're looking at that's just in front of you that is showing stats and stuff of the things that you're looking at, or showing you hot zones for where things are at. So yeah, it's going to have some really cool stuff. The voxel is pretty neat. Let's see, right? Actual dev when we start actual dev when we hit 700K immediately. We're very, very excited about starting on the game. I mean, we actually do have a bunch of artists working right now on really cool concepts that are going to be in the game. So we've already started on that and have been doing that for a little while, and we'll be releasing concept art over the whole campaign, so you can see some of the cool stuff that we're putting in it. So the lead programmer is going to be revealed at a certain point. AAA experienced programmer, multiple AAA titles, just shipped one, and he's very, very excited to be on the game, and he's just really amazing. Let's see, Permanent Blood, Kojima. Okay, why is this game going to be better? What will Adrian do? Can he talk about it? There's probably somebody new who got in here. Talk about what you can do, Adrian.
I'll be doing concept art, of course, art directing, concept art, and kind of filling it in where I need to.
Who are your influences? Your artistic influences?
Certainly H.R. Giger, the guy that created the Alien movie, Aliens. Ezra, an illustrator back in the 70s, used to do Molly Hatchet covers. They're pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. I can't think right now. There's quite a few 70s, 80s.
Anything that inspired you in a dark way? Maybe not an artist, but...
Yeah, all those. They were all pretty dark.
Any real life things?
Oh, real life.
Hospitals?
Used to work at a hospital for a little while. Get kind of dark and gruesome.
Dark and gruesome.
It was actually a lot of fun. It was when I was in college. But no, not really. No, nothing really dark in my life.
Yeah, Adrian, it's a Doom 2 intermission screen gives away the Geek Geiger influence. Yeah, because you did those skulls, the big deal.
Oh, so it's all based on that.
Yeah, we actually had the, what was it called? The Necronomicon?
Yeah.
That's what it was called there? We had that there just as a reference.
Yeah.
Adrian going to do epic voice acting?
I don't know.
Do you people like his voice? Is that what you're thinking?
I think my only voice acting in video games was Shoestoffel.
That's right. Shoestoffel.
Shoestoffel.
Oh, it's 422. Someone said to blaze it for the 420 backers, but it's too late.
Oh, too late. Damn it. It's never too late, man.
It's never too late. So why is this game going to be cool? Well, because it is going to be a return to classic FPS gameplay. Difficulty, nightmare difficulty, definitely a cool thing to have in there. In fact, I think nightmare difficulty is one of the stretch goals, because it's going to be a modified version of the original nightmare difficulty. So, yeah, guarantee it'll be really cool. We'll have checkpoints. What will be the penalties be like for dying in a level? So you're going to be able to die in the game, obviously. You'll be starting back at the very beginning, or it'll possibly have checkpoints in there, which is nice, which is really nice to have, and have it auto load so you don't have to go through menu systems and stuff. So it's nice to be able to just like get to a point, flip a switch, bam, you've done a checkpoint, you've done a significant action, autosave, and then move on to the next thing. And then if you die, you're back at that last autosave, and then continue from there, just so you can not have to restart all the time. Get rid of save anytime. The saving will happen at when you achieve something that's important. Dev team is not going to be a huge dev team because it's a classic FPS. It's going to be bigger than the teams that I've worked on for some of my games. Most likely around 20 people, and they're going to be like really experienced people. Oh, there's the Stoned Ape. I think I've seen you around, Stoned Ape. Tell us more about the Curse of the Ebon Raven. Imagine a horror movie where 5 people are offered $10,000 to stay overnight in a haunted mansion, only if they can survive to the morning. And you're just in there trying to wonder what's wrong with it. Like, what's wrong with the simulation? And you have to obviously experience this HoloSim movie as it's taking place to see when the issues happen. So you're kind of stuck in there as well. Health packs. No health regen. Health packs. Weapon pickups. All the things that are classic gameplay. Yes, so do you plan to create a medieval fantasy game, or does it come with this game? Yes, it comes with this game. There is a holosim called Crust the Dragon Killer, where you're this amazing Conan type character, and you go through this medieval world, and there's some incredible bosses in it. Will there be a real-time map switch? Thinking about multiplayer arena with the buddies. Yeah. So real-time map switch. So there's going to be map switching, definitely. It's one of the things that's going to be amazing about this game, because you control the simulation. You can control being in the simulation or not in that simulation. You could at some point just go, I'm going to the other one, boop, and you are now in a different level. Advanced movement, like strafe jumping, bunny hopping, definitely. That's classic FPS gameplay. Will overheal go back to 100 HP? Yes. Well, overheal will stay at the health that you got. It's not going to count down. So if you're at 100 health and you get an extra 100 or 200 or whatever, you'll stay up at that health. It's not going to like take it away from you. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Weapon upgrades and stuff. Yes, there are lots of really cool weapon upgrades. There's alternate firing of weapons, but there's also weapon mods in the game. And the weapon mods can be anything crazy, like let's say you have a shotgun, and there could be an alternate firing mode for the shotgun. Alternate firing mode could be ejecting the shells down the hall from you, and then when the shells go a certain distance, they blast out into a sphere shape, and they blast out, casting rays. So something could be hit by a certain number of them because they're blasting out. It's not an explosion like a grenade, but that could be an alternate firing. And a weapon mod would be something that lets you shoot the shotgun at an enemy, and then it freezes it like ice, and then it has like a 10-second timer. And you can either keep on shooting it, drop a grenade, and run off, or whatever. But that ice shotgun could be a really cool weapon mod. Adrian's just sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no sword weapons right now in the game, which is kind of interesting because you go into the Crust the Dragon Killer, and you'll have like a pulse rifle, which is kind of like, whoa. Pulse rifle with crazy medieval dudes. Yes, there will be secret levels. Let me see. Co-op feature its own separate campaigns. Can be the same as a single player campaign. Yes, there will be cheat codes, possibly. I think that might be even a stretch goal. Certain number of them. Might want to turn on slow mode for the chat. Didn't know that was a possibility. Let me see. Look at that, slow mode. All right, now Plasma climbing. I don't think I've heard of plasma climbing. That's pretty funny. But I have had a game, one of my games, with a shotgun that shot 6 times in a row and propelled you up in the air if you wanted to aim it down at the ground. Yeah, slow mode. Okay, let's see. Co-oping how many players? Join in and drop out should be doable. You know, I love the idea of just like, I just want to join in the middle of somebody's game. Pow, they're just like right next to you. Well, you see the character's face in the HUD. I think that you're going to see a unique form of that in this game. Crafting. No crafting. This is a classic FPS. Classic FPSs don't have crafting in it. Easter eggs from other games. There's going to be Easter eggs only from this game in it. Don't want to get in trouble with any companies by taking their stuff and throwing it in here. Let's see. Well, I do dev streams. It's an idea to do more Twitch streams while we're developing, kind of show off some of the stuff that we're doing. Would be pretty cool. Sewer level and underlift secrets. I love those things, so they possibly will be in there. Yeah, Painkiller is awesome. I really liked Painkiller. SpizzPopD. ID SpizzPopD. Well, we smash pumpkins into small puddles of future debris. Been designing the game. How long have I been working on this? Been designing it for about a year. No aiming down sights, no. Been designing for about a year, and really making sure that it's an idea that can take players on a really crazy roller coaster of a ride and be really fun, but also enable crazy modability and pretty much any kind of possibility for any kind of level that people want to mod on the game. So, you know, from the very beginning, the modding aspect was needed to be really strong with this game to enable people to make all kinds of stuff that that goes outside of a fiction that is rigid. So you kind of create your own because you're creating your own movie in this game. I'm a Pepsi destroyer. Pepsi Max. I don't see you drinking anything, Adrian.
Take water.
Water. This is kind of like water. Dark water.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, the weapons be in the center of the screen. The weapons are going to be like in different places, I think. Of course, in the bottom middle is like a normal area, but there will be different weapons that require a different way of using them. I remember Dark Forces had a really cool high-level weapon that took up like the right-hand side of your screen. It was pretty cool. Let's see. Pirates of Dark Water. Modding tools will be released the same as the game. Possibility. It's important to make sure that people can mod this game and have fun with it, you know, when it's released. Coca-Cola versus Pepsi. Let's see. Procedurally generated levels. There won't be procedurally generated levels, but there will be areas that look like they're procedurally generated. That's part of the story. What is the Backmask speech at the end of the Kickstarter video? I think if you just Google it on the internet, you're going to find it because people are already posting it all over the place. So the enemies in BLACKROOM are going to be things that you find in a movie, the bad guys in a movie, but also these really bad creatures called the glitches that are procedurally generated, and they have lots of different forms. It's almost like the only way that I can describe it is if you remember the game Ico, those black shapes that come up out of the ground. It's similar to how those guys work. So it's bad news when they show up. And that's the character that you can see on the BLACKROOM video thumbnail. And it's also on the webpage too. It's also on the Kickstarter page. So yeah, consoles. To get BLACKROOM, you must fund the Kickstarter campaign by John Romero. Strafe jumping, fast movement mechanics, yes. Lots of enemies on screen, yes. What engine? UE4, yes. So yes to all those. You totally know what classic gameplay is like. Classic FPS gameplay. Players facing the HUD. It's going to be a pretty unique representation of it. Let's see. PC, Quake, console afterthought. So, yeah, PC is first. It is designed for PC, 60 FPS, super fast. Speed is very important to the design as we're making the game. I'm not going to spend a ton of money and time making wall textures look insane because players don't stare at the wall. They move through an environment. So the overall look of the environment is going to be very important to the game. And the fact that the environment can move very fast is going to be important to the game. And it'll look really good. I mean, nowadays you could really make an environment look great without dumping everything into insanity art. So I really want to make sure it looks good, but you can move through it really fast. So yeah, super fast, where you basically are limited by your skill in the game, and you're not limited by the game's movement speed. To me, that's always been really important. 144 FPS. You know, could be hundreds of FPS. It's going to be really high FPS. So carrying weapons, you can carry an infinite amount of weapons because you don't actually carry weapons. They're holographic weapons that appear in your hand and change. So you're not weighed down by weapons. Let me try and find an Adrian question here. Let's see. Secret areas found by pushing walls. I think there's gonna be secret areas found by all sorts of means. Monster closets. The funny thing about monster closets is that monster closets was something that is part of other games' fictions, but because this is a holographic reality, I don't need to put monsters in closets. I can just make them appear right in front of you, or right behind you, or right next to you, or above you. I mean, I can do whatever in a holographic reality, so stuff can just appear and scare the hell out of you, and I don't need to like shove them in a monster closet somewhere. It's almost like when teleporting monsters come in. It's so speedrunner friendly that there's an entire challenges mode made for speedrunners, and speedrunning with all kinds of modifications to it. I'm interested in honorific titles, if anyone remembers that. They're really, really cool. Yeah, the shot cycler. Very cool. It was like a jetpack. Horseshoe rooms? There has to be a reference to the horseshoe design. Let's see, art style, realistic or stylized? It's going to be more on the realistic side because you're going to be a person, you know, and people are going to be watching things that look realistic. Let's see, offline multiplayer dedicated support for LAN parties. Yes, you can run your own dedicated servers. Adrian question, will you be designing cool new doors, buttons, switches, and elevators for us again? Also, will John be the only one designing maps? Are you going to be making new buttons and lifts and platforms?
Yes. We're doing all that.
Yeah, Adrian's doing all the art direction, so if we need, you know, like an elevator in the mansion in the Curse of the Ebon Raven, you know, he can get pretty elaborate with the grill on the front of that elevator. And then I'm going to be making the maps. How many jibs? I can't even count the amount of jibs in this game.
Lots of jibs.
Lots of jibs. So can holographic levels change in the middle of the chapter? They can change at any time, yes. You can be doing something and all of a sudden it switches. And it switches because some error happened. Of course, you didn't expect it. You're busy trying to investigate the issue inside the holosim, and then you're in the middle of the gunfight, in the Western. It's like, what is going on? So you deal with the situation, and then you try and deduce what happened. All right. Immersive NPC interaction. There is going to be NPCs, multiple NPCs. So we will see how that works. It's not going to be super extensive. It's more like classic FPS gameplay. So they'll be there and they will be doing their thing. You might even be walking through them. It's all holographic, and you might just decide to turn off collision on these characters, so you can investigate the area and not deal with collision with them. Will maps be complex as they were before? Yes, definitely. Complex maps are pretty important. I really like having maps that really are designed in that abstract level design format, where you are coming back into sections and seeing areas and landmarks over and over again and reinforcing the 3D-ness of the area. It's important to be able to to have something that's really interesting to cruise through and find secrets and just blow stuff away and do it all at high speed. Hard to find Easter eggs, definitely. Loading screens, or is it going to be seamless? It's going to depend on how fast we can get stuff loaded. So, and if we do preloading and all that, we won't be able to know until we're in development and we see how big things are and how fast things are. dice.exe, yeah. All right. Let's see. How big are the guns going to be? They're going to actually be a wide range of sizes. So it's 1 through 10. So the game engine is Unreal 4. We're using the Unreal 4 engine. Will the levels be designed in your way? Yeah, they're going to be designed in my way, but they'll be fitting the format of the holosim that you're in at that time. So a Western level definitely is not going to feel like the inside of a mansion. So there will be a difference there. Let's see, will creatures fight each other? Well, you know what? Creatures sometimes hate each other. And they have faulty AI and do crazy things like kill each other, tear each other apart. So I think that's going to be in there. We're not creating a level editor because an extensive one exists already that we're going to be using, and that should be available to everybody. Will the whole body be visible or only the arms? Right now, we're going to be seeing the arms because that's where your voxel is. Is there a map set in the Hawksor facility? Yes. There's going to be a control center that's just outside the black room that you need to kind of come out of the room and chat with your colleagues about things and then kind of go back in there.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, I see. It's I just looked at the time too. I was like, "Yep, it's been over an hour." Cool.
Right.
Well, thanks for joining us, Adrian. Everybody say goodbye to Adrian, and
see you guys.
he'll be in backer updates and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, take it easy. Thanks for coming.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
See you guys.
Have fun. All right. Okay, now, all right. All right, so now, all right, let me adjust the adjust this stuff now. Okay, good enough. Lord of the Baron. So anyway, yeah, there's so many questions. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, so the amount of enemies, bestiary that's going to be in the game is going to be, pretty good size, because each of the environments requires its own characters. We're going to be able to share skeletal structures and stuff, so it'll be a lot of, reskinning and texturing the model part on the outside, but the animation stuff is not going to have to be, completely redone. We are developing the game in Ireland, yes. We're in Galway, Ireland, and that's where we have our company and where we are going to be developing it. What is Happy Lane? Happy Lane is the kids show. It's a kids show holosim. It's got a cute little theme song and everything. There's no iron sights. It's classic gameplay. Levels will be big. How many monsters per level? Well, if you remember classic games, that many monsters. Funny or serious? It's gonna be dark humor, but it's gonna have a range of representation, like emotions, because we have just a second, let me move this over here. So many messages. Okay. Actually, yeah, that's cool. Okay. All right. No iron sights. No. This is classic. So, classic FPSs didn't do that. I'm really interested in making something that is fast, lots of enemies, lots of speed. Scooby-Doo was awesome. Yeah. Well, each level have variations. The enemies based on style level. Yes, there's different holosims that you're in, and they have a different cast in them, which is monsters and NPCs and stuff. So they'll all be different. Let's see. So yeah, secret areas. I think someone mentioned, could there be secret walls as in the walls that glitch and disappear sometime? Yeah. There will be walls that if you notice, they'll have a glitchy texture on them that you can actually go through and see crazy abstract level design that looks procedurally generated and has weird memory map textures on them. There won't be learning AI. That's not a classic FPS gameplay style. Here, I'll just do that. Everybody's staring at the desktop. Teleporters and telefrags, they're awesome, and I love them, and they have to be in there. Does every backer level get access to the beta? Yes. It's being glitchy and holographic, so all the bugs are working as intended instead of fixing them. So yeah, a lot of time and thought in the story that is a story that enables modders to create an incredible array of maps the way they did and still continue to do in the Doom community. And with this community, the fiction is pretty much unlimited. So there's a certain amount that you'll get to play with at the beginning, but you'll be able to create your own as well. Yeah, level destruction is going to be something that is controlled with your voxel. And so as we are developing the levels and the way that we have to create them, we'll be defining how the voxel handles the geometry in the level, because you're able to time stop the whole game, the simulation, with the voxel. There's only one game that has that as the classic FPS thing. They're definitely old school secrets. I love old school secrets. There will definitely be skeletons, because there is a one of the Hollow Sims is called the Crimson Buccaneer, which is a pirate adventure movie. So we're not trying to make the game support VR, because VR is, might not be good for a game where you're moving that fast. So so save system is basically kind of it's kind of checkpoint based. It's based off of you doing a significant action. So when you flip a switch, that's kind of a big deal, and it would save the game at that point. And then if you die, you go back to that last switch flip. Okay. Can we see that Scooby-Doo image? Just do a search on the internet. I think Scooby-Doo it's on Twitter. So yeah, remakes. The community will definitely remake some classic maps. How does ammo work? Ammo is handled through a system called bits, and bits are these. It's a quantity. It's almost like you can think of it as a battery power. Your weapons use battery power basically, which is your ammo, and you have a certain amount of it. As a Hawkstar engineer, you have an unlimited amount of it. But when things start going wrong, then you're severely limited in the amount of bits that you have. So you need to get bits, and the way to get them is to destroy everything you see. And so you collect the bits, and that gives you more ammo, and certain things that you do in the game, like if you're going to use a weapon mod, that's going to cost more bits than a regular shooting of a weapon. So you're basically getting bits from what you're doing in the game, which fuels your ammo and other things that you do. So universal ammo wise, if it feels bad, which it may feel bad, it will be tweaked so you specifically need a certain thing for a certain kind of weapon, because I know definitely how universal ammo works, and it's nice to be able to limit the players ammunition for certain things. So if you have just trust me that it's very important for me to make sure that I have that I can control how many rockets you have, and I can control how many shells you have. That's the way that you balance classic shooter levels. So the way that the bits work is going to be tweaked so it works just like that. So I can control those things. There's not going to be hats. But there will be things that are hat-like but aren't hats. But it's not made like TF2. It's not that kind of a game. Exactly, yeah. Your idea for the different kinds of bits, 16 bits and 8 bits and stuff. Something similar. Is it worth driving out to Hawkstar's facility? If you go to Scottsdale, Arizona, you'll have to wait 20 years, definitely, for that location to possibly have a Hawkstar incorporated facility. or not ever. Yeah, don't worry about universal ammo. The tech is Unreal 4. Let's see. Head crabs are like hats. No caps. No hats, no caps, no nothing like that. Everything is holographic, so if you're going to augment things, it's going to be done in your voxel. And it doesn't need to be visibly like on you. You know, hats are designed for TF2, and this game is not like TF2. I think Doom Guy would beat Master Chief. Just my personal opinion. So yeah, it's definitely classic, 100% classic FPS gameplay with some twists on how some of that stuff works to enable, you know, a wider palette of gameplay. But it will definitely have the super speed, nice size levels, tons of secrets, but also have some really cool scary stuff in it as well. Yeah, UE4, hiring on freelancers, yeah. Doomguy versus Serious Sam. Doomguy just always wins. So the concept art, you will be seeing more concept art. So don't worry as we start, as the Kickstarter continues and starts doing well, things start unlocking. There's more concept art. There's more cool information on the game. There will be some huge enemies that have huge guts. So movement options are going to be classic. Rocket jumping, air control, strafe jumping, bunny hopping, circle strafing, all that stuff at high speed. Grapple hooks and wall jumping is not something that's planned to be in there, but it's something that is not hard to put in there for the multiplayer modes and could be something that you just disable. But there will be a one-on-one Rocket Arena style deathmatch. So you can have lots of people watching the match, and then when the person loses, you just slot the next guy in. Is it a horror game? One part of it is a horror section. The whole thing is not a horror game. One of the movies is a horror game. Horror sim. It's a hollow sim. It's horror. Lots of blood and gore. Yes. Can anyone hear Buckethead playing right now? Because someone's asking about Buckethead. Yeah, the game has heavy metal, and it's going to have some really cool, different styles of metal in it. Any other projects than this in the works? No, this is it. This is the only game I'm going to work on. I'm super excited to just put all of my effort into this one game and make it just amazing. Yeah, I started playing around with UE4 to design levels. Yeah, and it's really great. Will there be only Rocket Arena Deathmatch? There will be, let's see, traditional 1v1 dual gameplay with healthy up. All the pickups are going to be there. It's going to be classic deathmatch, team deathmatch, co-op mode, free-for-all arena, and really the structured one is the Rocket Arena Deathmatch where people are logged in and they're one at a time getting in there. Getting the player headbang. How much gibbage will be applied? 11, I think. Scale of 1 to 10. Probably 11. I think you can probably see more than you've ever seen in any other game because the fiction supports it. C++ all the way, yes, because it is Unreal 4. It's a 3D game because it's Unreal 4. Let's see. Level design techniques. What I think is basically just making really great looking levels that are really fun to play. Not getting wrapped up in how intricate each texture is, but making the textures look really good and support the fiction of the location, and let you just go through a really fast experience. Are you ready to sit down? It's going to be, the gameplay is going to be classic FPS gameplay, but the fiction of it is going to be really new. So it's going to be really, I think, surprising and fresh and interesting with the kind of gameplay that you really want. So yeah, this Twitch is kind of like an AMA, but I'm going to probably do an actual AMA. What is Ian playing? The general style will be realistic. Let's see, we're not showing gameplay today. Let's see, the maps can be designed to play well in both single and multiplayer. Yeah, you're going to be able to play the single player maps in deathmatch, but there will also be specific deathmatch only maps. And those will be able to be like just one level that has a really different theme to it, such as playing in interstellar space, like on a ship. Just one level, and then another level that's in a completely different, like, hellish location. So the deathmatch levels will be interestingly different and not part of the HoloSim stuff, which are the movies. Let's see what else. Okay, support for 125 FPS? I sure hope so. Yes, at some point there will be a playable demo, or probably a video first. So yes, I'm going to have some other people on the design team, and I'm going to be doing level design. Okay, let's see. Shotgun will definitely be cool. Hit stuff far away. Modern FPS spread so much. Yeah, it's gonna. The shotguns, if you remember, like there are different kinds of shotguns for different types of distances. So it's basically like single barrel is kind of like the one that's kind of has a tight spray pattern, and the double barrel has a really crazy spray pattern. Let's say killing enemies or other people in succession, combos. Not planning on having that kind of stuff. It's not a classic gameplay style. Customizable graphic settings, yes, definitely. Let's see. Be adding a twist to the classic FPS genre, yes. There's going to be a lot of really cool twists. You're going to have classic FPS gameplay, but in a really amazing environment that lets you do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so the stuff that I'm talking about I'm basically talking about the design of the game that I've been working on for a year. So I'm not like promising random things. These are all things that are part of the design, and are enabled by the holographic simulation design. Dual wielding. Okay. Cthulhu or dark fantasy themes? There will be a dark fantasy theme. It's called Crust the Dragon Killer. It's one of the HoloSim movies that you play in. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Visual style is going to be, more detailed, not cartoony, really. So the music is going to be handled by metal musicians, including George Lynch. So simulation, will there be some kind of an op cheat gun? Yes, there is. There is a basic tool that you have called the wand. That is a physical tool that can shoot a Hoxel beam into the environment, and it can trigger things. Let's see. Besides speedrun and other challenge modes, so the other challenge modes could be things like finishing a level, non-violently, or finishing a level with just one type of weapon. Finishing a level within a certain, speedrunning, obviously. Other things that the voxel enables could be a new challenge mode. Will only you and Adrian lead the project? No, there's other people that'll be leading the project, like the programming lead is a super experienced programmer. Okay, recap some of the major points. The Kickstarter page has a lot of the major points in there, basically classic FPS gameplay, but within a holographic simulation that can change at any time. And while you're inside the holographic simulation, you are a chief engineer at this company called Hoxar that has built this BLACKROOM technology. And when you're inside of the BLACKROOM, you're in a holographic simulation, and you are basically trying to investigate what kind of issues it's having, and it's glitching out, and it's changing locations on you, and there are crazy things happening because a new technology called predictive memory has just been enabled, and there are some issues with it, and it overran buffers, which then cascaded into other areas of the code, which then cause all kinds of random problems to happen, and that's what you're experiencing while you're in it. Yeah, put a fact in the text document. There's actually going to be a fact that's going to be released really soon. It's got all these answers in it. Let's see. Levels have non-Euclidean geometry or stuff. We're not going to be walking on walls and stuff like that, but there is going to be some crazy looking geometry when you go outside the designed level space. No squad, unless you're talking about the military simulations that have been created. Hoxar is into working with the military for training and entertainment and commercial applications. So the military application is to train soldiers how to fight in a wartime scenario, and part of that is working with a squad. So you might be in a squad when you're in the sim part, military sim levels. Let's see. Yes, it's classic FPS gameplay, and there's some new stuff added in there. And it has to be, plus to the classic gameplay. It can't change the classic FPS gameplay. That's got to be there and feel really good. Physical bodies of the player. You're actually the physical body of the player is in the simulation, and it moves you around in the simulation. You kind of stay in the center as you're running. It's keeping you in the center of the black room, and so you feel real all the time, but your environment is holographic. Will this fill the void? Yes, this will fill the void of that classic deathmatch. Yes, there are key cards. me see. Ken Silverman, yeah. Have I been influenced by the community's output and creativity? You know, the community's been going strong for decades now, and there's just, it's amazing how they take the original engine and they extend it to have full 3D, and then extend the editors to create those full 3D environments. And yeah, I'm just amazed at how people have continued to keep raising the bar in Doom editing. BLACKROOM is a big black cube with a massive array of what's called H-node emitters that generate the Hoxel, the holographic simulation. Will weapons have reloading? Yes, because the military simulation needs to teach soldiers that weapons do need to reload. I'm not planning on coding myself. I'm planning on spending my time making all the levels really great. Yeah, so the other devs on the team will be announced as we go down the road on the Kickstarter. So yes, we're going to be setting up some forums for BLACKROOM. Yes, I have learned from mistakes, and I'm avoiding mistakes, of course. Glad everybody's liked my games in the past. Let me see. So the military simulation. Why would a military simulation have dragons? So the problem is this: Hoxar has military simulation technology that when you go into a military sim, you are training like a soldier. The problem is that the new technology, the predictive memory technology that has gone online, has screwed everything up, and it has folded the military simulation over onto the holosims that you're experiencing. So when you're in the Crust the Dragon Killer holosim movie, you have military weapons because it's glitched, and the military simulation is active, and it shouldn't be, but it is, and that's why you have these weapons. Yes, it's very much like the holodeck in Star Trek. Yep. Yep. Yeah, VRception. That's pretty funny. That's a good one. I love programming games. Yeah, I love doing that. Actually, on a little bit on this other game called Gunman Taco Truck. Forum 666. It got deactivated by our IT people. What do the enemies look like? They look like so many different things. Pirates, barbarians, dragons, other crazy stuff that Adrian's going to be designing. So in theory, we could be fighting on a pirate ship, and in a haunted mansion, and in a Wild West town, and in a kids TV show, and etc. Right now there are 10 environments planned, but 5 planned for launch, not counting the military sim stuff. Alright. Yeah, Time Splitters was really great. How do 2 people use BLACKROOM at the same time? They are in the same space, sharing the same space, and moving around in the same space, and it's controlling both the players, keeping them in the same area. And the simulation that they see is the same for them because they're looking in the same physical location. So when things glitch and move to another area, it's happening to both of you. there will be some communication with somebody else up through your voxel that's in the control room. Tools that we'll be using for designing levels will be Unreal Edit 4. Let's see. It's all about Pepsi. Okay. Yeah, motion blur off, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Classic FPS gameplay did not include bloom and blur and all that. Why UE4? Because it's fast. It's C++, and it is an amazing toolkit. And I don't want to spend my time writing an engine when I should be making a game. Yes, complex levels with keys and traps and all that stuff, definitely. Actually, yes, there will be non-hostile NPCs in the sims that you can kill. Alright. Team is going to be up to 20 people, and some of the work will be contracted out. It goes beyond 20. No, the weapons are not going to be different for the different sims because the military simulation is folded on top of everything else, so you'll be using the military weapons in whatever the location is that you're at. We're not going to blow up the amount of assets that we need to make in the game. So yeah, the game's not going to be made only for 700K. If we get 700K, we have backers that will back us for the rest of the millions that we need to make this game. Let's see. I'm in Ireland, so definitely I'm hiring Irish game devs. They must be there, of course. Let me see. Okay. Tick rate, server tick rate, general online. Akimbo weapons, you know, it's a possibility. There's no alcohol in Irish Pepsi. Yeah, there's gonna be some really cool stuff that Adrian puts in here that's really disturbing and scary. Deep Silver Publishing. We don't have a publisher yet. We do have publishers interested. Am I planning to be on Twitch in a regular way? I'm hoping to during the development of the game. It's cool to show off like what's going on with the game. Let's see. Marketing for Pepsi. Yes, Adrian is great. Is he all right in the head? Definitely he is. Yes, we could use some art on the far back wall. We just haven't hung any in there. We've been hanging it all outside this room. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that this is a really great game idea that is totally achievable and brings some really new fiction to FPS, but retaining the classic FPS gameplay and really intricate levels and really fun design. I don't know if if any of you have played the E1M8 level that I released in January, but it kind of demonstrates the kind of gameplay that I'm interested in making and creating. It's not an esports focused game, no. Will there be a railgun? Well, there are some. The guns are different in this game. I'm not planning on a railgun, but I have some different weapons that are pretty cool. Let's see. So the BLACKROOMGame.com site is up, and if we hit our goal, then we will have PayPal enabled on the BLACKROOM game site. Santiago Sonora is a Yaqui character, and he is chief H-node engineer at Hawksar, so he's a real smart guy. And I wanted someone that was a smart scientist type player, and because it's a holographic simulation, they could be anything in there. They didn't need to themselves be like a Conan type character. Have fun, Lance. See ya. All right. Let's see. Single player campaign is like 10 hours. Roughly 10 hours. I think it'll play longer for some people. Yes, the shotgun's far distance. Definitely. Yeah, if we don't hit the goal, then we'll see what we can do. There's a possibility that we still might be able to make it, but most likely we probably won't. So if everyone can just go and pledge on the Kickstarter, we can actually do this thing and make a classic FPS. The Kickstarter is there to basically see, does the world really want another classic FPS that feels great but has a new fiction and a new story around it with modern graphics, but still retains the speed and the balance and the weapon pickups and the non-regen health and all the things that made classic FPS games great. So that's what this game is basically supposed to be doing. You definitely will be able to mod this game like crazy since we're using Unreal 4, and we're going to be adding to it to make it even easier for people to mod. It's a C++ engine, but I want to make it even easier for people to be able to program it not in C++. So we're going to be doing some modifications to make adding more functionality than just data in this game. Thanks. Pledge on the Kickstarter. Let's go. There is an old school big box. Yep. A really cool collector's edition box. Single player maps will be suitable for deathmatch. Yes, definitely. So it'll have 6 specific deathmatch maps, but also all of the maps you'll be playing. 7.8 out of 10. Too much holograms. Melee and ranged weapons. Mostly ranged, but you will have some melee. Let's see, an indie game. Yeah, it's an indie game. Yeah, AAA games cost insane amounts of money. This is not going to be a AAA game. It's a triple I game. Yep, yeah. Lua, UE4. It's a great combo. Thanks for pledging. Will you have legs? You're not going to see your legs. I don't want it to get in the way of your rocket jumps. Triple six game. It's a 666. Anyway. Oh, well, why do I use Mac instead of Windows or Linux? We're actually gonna have Windows systems here as well. So we got to make sure the game runs on Windows first, and then Mac after it. Your left eyebrow is way too high. Any abilities like bullet time? Well, yes, you're going to actually be able to stop time because you control the holographic simulation with your voxel. Check out the Kickstarter page. This is a DRM free option. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm. From the early '80s, there were a lot of really great companies back then that had no copy protection, and I totally believe in that. In fact, I've made most of my games completely non-copy protected. Is there a backup play for the game? Let's see. I'm now a Hogstar manager. Yeah, awesome. All right. Advanced movement techniques that take skill to master. Yes, there will be. The north wall running stuff in Doom was an interesting bug and was really tough to get right. And so I want to build some of those things into this engine. I know that was an error, but I want to build some errors in like that, especially the way some of the weapons worked. All right. You have no legs, but can still strafe and circle jump. Is Melee going to be awesome and full of gore? Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. You know what's in there. Yeah, I want to do regular updates, behind the scenes stuff. Definitely. And, showing some really cool movies of the gameplay. Is it true you have a photographic memory? I have a thing called hyperthymesia, which is like superior autobiographical memory. So I remember the stuff that I do and when things happened and just a lot of details about things. Thoughts on this? What about OS support? Will it work on Linux? Linux is not a right out of the box thing, but it's not definitely easy. It's definitely easier to do than the console stuff. This is an FPS, yes. Classic first-person shooter. Let's see. Is this going to be the next game I want? Yes, I think so. Competitive gaming. This is not a competitive game, but it is moddable to be competitive. It will have a Rocket Arena style deathmatch mode, so people can modify it for that. What was the event on April 14th? I think that might be somewhere on the site if you look around. It was, there's I think there's a press release that mentions what happened on the site, or maybe there's some stuff on the site. You maybe not have dug it up yet. Additional investments from third parties in the video is basically some publishers that are interested in this game. So the story is developed inside and outside of the BLACKROOM. It's kind of both. multiplayer. Can we expect multiple multiplayer game modes? Yes, there are multiple multiplayer game modes. Definitely co-op is in there. One-on-one Rocket Arena mode, free-for-all arena, and there are some stretch goals that add some modes that that people haven't seen yet that are really fun because I played them myself. But those are stretch goals, so hopefully we see that. All right, well, I'm going to have to go, everybody. But thanks for watching this stream, and run over to Kickstarter or back this game. Get yourself a really cool classic FPS, and I'll just keep an eye on this, and I'll be doing another Twitch stream in a while. I'm not sure if it's today, but it won't be too long. But thanks a lot, and jump on over to Kickstarter. Thanks a lot. Have fun, and keep rocking. Take it easy.